which is good news, but now he's going to have a bowl. He's going to be bowling to Alex Davies at 7 without loss at the beginning of the 3rd over. They have to take 2 wickets in this over to match Lancashire. This is where it starts to get tricky for Derbyshire. As Madsen is in and bowls, that one's clipped into the leg side, fielded there by Matt Critchley at shortish mid-wicket. It's a dot ball to begin with for Madsen, who gets through his overs at an incredibly rapid rate, although not when he drops the ball as he has done there. He's ready now. Davis stands and waits, goes back into his crease and turns it up towards Critchley. It goes beyond Critchley, and then off the boundary comes Anuj Dal to do the fielding, single taken. Autumn's here, Scott. The leaves are starting to blow from the trees behind us across the pitch, which is a bit early. But they're just starting to have to get the leaf blower out, the groundsman, before to get this outfield in pristine condition for the Bob Willis Trophy game on Sunday. 10:30 start for that one, remember. Anybody who wants to tune in, doesn't want to miss half an hour, and who would? Around the wicket comes Madsen to Keaton Jennings, who drives this very nicely. It's half stopped there by Matt Critchley, and they scramble through for a quick enough single. 8-9 without loss. Yeah, so 10:30 start, which means we'll probably get away by about 8:30. Sorry, that's my phone. That's very unprofessional.
Dave.
Good tune. What?
I feel like you've not enjoyed your trip so far tonight.
Oh no, I've loved it.
Okay.
I've loved it. It's only 30-odd miles from my house. This ground. This one is just a whisker away from Matt Critchley as it's flicked into the leg side, and they pick up another single, moving to double figures, 10 without loss. Oh, I've enjoyed every moment of this season, because at one point I didn't think we were going to have anything to enjoy. So you've got to make the most of it, haven't you?
Said that to Stephen Croft, just how much of the just playing, getting out there and playing some cricket.
Absolutely, Madsen. Balls pushed into the offside by Keaton Jennings. Harvey is saying looked like he thought it was the last ball of the over there as he started dancing down the pitch, but he was merely returning the ball to Madsen so he can come in, and he's had quite a sharp haircut as Wayne Madsen. Keaton Jennings hasn't, and he reverse sweeps this one but straight to the fielder, and there is no run. It's the end of the Madsen over. 10 without loss after 3. They're going to have to put their foot down at some point, Lancashire. There's 3 runs off that over. At the same stage, Derbyshire were 14 for 2.
Yes, if you are just joining the coverage, perhaps back in from work and just logging on and getting into your car perhaps and flicking on the radio, Derbyshire 98 for 7 from 20 overs. 11 for 1, 14 for 2, and then 3rd wicket when Madsen went with 18 runs, 4 for 18, 5 for 35, 6 down for 48. Yeah,
it doesn't get any better.
No, looks pretty tough. Listening or reading if you're looking at the scorecard, I'm afraid. A couple of wickets for Tom Bailey, 1 for Hartley, 1 for Lamb and 1 for Stephen Parry.
Ed Barnes,
who's running in from the pavilion end and bowling full length delivery on the off stump, and Davis brings his bat down, jabs the ball into the onside, fielded at mid wicket, no run.
Spoke to Ed for the first time. All these new, well, not all these new players because there haven't been that many, but I've spoken to Mikey Cohen on Zoom. Never spoken to Ben Aitchison, who sadly his season looks like it's over with the ankle ligament damage. I spoke to Ed for the first time on Wednesday night.
Barnes is in to Davis. It's pulled behind square on the leg side, and that'll be 4 runs with Davis rocking back and pulling it from about waist height behind square. Takes Lancashire up to 14 without loss.
Nice young man said, yeah, it's been a disappointing start, but if we win our last 6, who knows? So I fully expect whoever I speak to say, well, if we win our last 5, who knows?
14 without loss.
There is Michael Cohen.
Barnes in too. Davis driven nicely right down the ground. Arrow straight from Davis. Glorious looking straight drive by the Lancashire batsman. Barnes trying to stop it off his own bowling, but that rattled its way towards the rope. And Davis, who's been in good form this season with the bat for Lancashire, and what has been a good opening partnership for Lancashire between Keaton Jennings and Alex Davis. And Davis moves to 12, 18 without loss.
Yeah, really nice shot all the way along the floor. Barnes did what he could to stop it in his follow through, but it was hit with some ferocity, wasn't it?
Here comes Barnes past the umpire to Davis. Cuts the ball for 4 more behind square on the offside. And that takes Davis on to 16, and Lancashire Lightning to 22 without loss in pursuit of 99 to win the game.
If we listen very carefully, we'll get some secrets here, because Michael Cohen is currently speaking to Sam Connors, and he's brought a drink for him, and they're about 2.5 feet away from our effects microphone. You just hear them muttering in the background, can't quite pick it up. Quite a damaging over, this one. There was always going to be several damaging overs, you felt, though. It's not helping you see, is it?
Not really. No. Barnes to Davis, but I had no idea what's going on. Davis hits the ball to mid-on, it seems, where Lewis Rees fields. Davis gets 1, he moves to 17, and the score moves on to 23 without loss.
There we go, Mikey's moved now, so we're all right.
Nice. We're all right. At least we can actually see some cricketers and some action today, because on Wednesday, I know that you happened to listen to a little bit of the coverage, didn't you, Dave? On Wednesday, there were these big covers were drawn across, were cocooned inside the media centre, and it was absolutely tipping it down as Jennings tries to drive through the offside, but it bounces into just a few yards just outside his off stump, and he's got no idea where the ball's gone. He says to Davis, "Is there a run there?" And Alex Davis says, "No, there is not." And that completes the 4th over. 23 without loss, Lancashire Lightning. After 4, 99 is their target to win the game. 17 of those to Davis and 5 to Keaton Jennings.
Most expensive over of the match so far, that one. 13 off it. A couple of 10 run overs off Matt Parkinson. And he was bowling towards the end as Matty McKiernan returns for his 2nd over, the 5th of Lancashire's reply from the river end. He's going to be bowling to Alex Davis. Fielders spread as much as they can be inside the power play. McKiernan, he's in and bowls. That strikes the pad of Davis and dribbles out into the offside. He was trying to force that one square of the wicket to the far side of the ground, where those trees are just starting to move a little bit more than they were when we arrived. 23 without loss. 1 or 2 of those are showing signs of it being, of autumn being imminent. Certainly some golden colours in there. Davis waits with his bat raised, and he drives straight back at McKiernan, who stops it in his follow through. Yes, I've seen Ben Aitchison. He was out there on the pitch when the lads were going through their warm-up. Recovery going well, according to his mum. It's good to know. I will speak to him at some point. McKiernan, I don't think I've ever spoken to Matty McKiernan, in all honesty. This one is driven up towards long on, where Anish Dal does the fielding, and again they go through for a very comfortable single, which means that Sam Connors is back out near us but not in front of us on this occasion, which is good news. He's at mid-wicket. He's one of the 2 men out. The other one is Anish Dal at long on for the leg spinning. He's on his way in again. He tosses himself a catch first, but he sort of starts with a trot, then slows down to a walk, and then into his delivery action, turning to the leg side by Keaton Jennings. Barnes chases it towards the boundary. Connors comes in off it to do the fielding, but again, very comfortable single. 25 without loss in the 5th over. All very straightforward so far for Lancashire, as you would expect. Derbyshire having made 98 for 7. Kiernan bowls down the leg side. That'll be not signalled to wide. Why was that not signalled to wide?
I don't know. It appeared a little leg sided, didn't
Well,
it?
it looked like a bit, well, it missed the stumps and it went behind the batsman. No, it's always a clue, I always think. But anyway, Steve O'Shaughnessy took pity on the bowler. Davis hasn't taken pity on him because he's launched this out towards 4 runs. When it left the bat, threw for the single and then fell over. He's okay though. He's back up. And that was the final ball of the over. 6 from it, 29 without loss after 5. McKierland's done all right so far. 2 overs for 8 runs, decent effort, but then again the Lancashire batsmen really don't have to go hard at this. They just have to play sensibly for a 10-wicket win, you would have thought. They might be mindful of potentially of net run rate. I know you were talking to Kevin on Wednesday about the third place teams, and one of those third place teams is going to miss out, and net run rate is the first of the deciding tiebreakers, if you like. So I know Lancashire would be aiming at finishing the top 2 in the North group, but if they don't and they finish third, then the better their net run rate is, the more chance they've got of going through as one of the 2 best third place teams.
Yeah, top 2 guaranteed a place in the quarter-finals. Jennings uses his feet to Madsen, he chips it a little uppishly through mid-on, but for a single. So the top 2 guaranteed a place, and then the 2 best third place sides also reaching a quarter-final. So yeah, something that Lancashire, I'm sure, will have in mind in terms of trying to try and win emphatically and improve the run rate. They're always tight, aren't they? The groups in the T20. They're always come down to a point or 2, or run rate, or most wins, that type of thing. They very rarely see either in the North or the South group when it's been 2 over the last few years, one team powering the way in front. No. They're always pretty tight affairs. Madsen to Davis came down the pitch, and that's pushed away into the offside, and there's no run.
That generator sounds like it's going to explode behind us, doesn't it?
Madsen again. Davis forcing the ball. Lewis Rees is at mid-off, no run. I'm not actually. This generator's right behind us.
Yeah.
Okay. I can hear it.
Yeah. It's only small.
Oh, right.
Powering the entire ground. I think it's powering most of Liverpool by the sound of it.
I wonder what those extra extension leads were for. Davis works this delivery through mid-wicket and jogs through for 1. Score moves on to 31 without loss.
A couple of people charging their phones in Heighton. You're welcome.
Free lecky for a week. plug into the generator at Eggbeth. Madsen to Jennings. Jennings defending a little tentatively, but there's no run.
It is interesting, isn't it, the amount of spin that Lancashire had. And if it is the same pitch that they're using the 4-day game, Derbyshire have got plenty of spin options as well. I wonder if we'll see a spin fest.
Pushed away by Jennings and through the hands of Wayne Madsen. Jennings gets a single. At the end of the over, I think it is, yeah. 32 without loss after 6. That's a good shout, yeah. I mean, Lancashire do tend to always play at least 2 frontline spinners when they come to Liverpool. Bearing in mind, it looks like I think it'll be the same pitch. We can try and clarify afterwards, but it could be a bit of a spin fest this week.
It might give McKiernan an extra opportunity to get into the team. We might see a bit of Leas de Ploy in the 4-day game with his left arm spin. Obviously, Matt Critchley, if Wayne Madsen gets through this okay, and he's bowled his first 2 overs for just 6 runs, who knows? We may well get some prompt finishes in the 4-day game. Which might be a nice change. 32 without loss after 6. Derbyshire at the same stage. End of the power play. We're 18 for 4 and effectively lost the game by that point. Having lost their top 4 batsmen, Godalming, Rees, Madsen and Deploy. But it's been a spirited effort from the bowlers. As we're going to see more spin. We've seen 2 overs of the medium paces or the quicks, depending on how you want to rate Sam Connors and Ed Barnes. And every other over has been bowled by a spinner. We're going to see some leg spin now from Matt Critchley from the River End. He's going to be bowling to the left-handed Keaton Jennings. It just fooled me for a moment. I couldn't exactly work out where he was standing. It's definitely Keaton Jennings. but you can't see his hair under his helmet.
It's a shame.
Whereas you can see it poking out of his cap.
I can't believe that he's getting stick for that from.
No, I can't. I like it. I don't mind long hair. I like a bit of long hair.
It's a work of art.
Yes, absolutely. So fielders spread far and wide. Required rate 4.7. Matt Critchley looks at the scoreboard for some reason before he comes into bowl. Balls to Keaton Jennings, turn into the leg side. There'll be a single there. They think about pushing for 2, but Leeds deploys in quite quickly, the South African, and hurls the ball straight over the stumps for Harvey Hussain to take. Matty McKiernan in the far distance near the scorers. He's at long on. Lewis Rees at long off. That perhaps tells you that Wayne Madsen might not be 100% because he's normally at long on. Although having said that, he's somewhere near a boundary because most of the fielders are. As many as possible, certainly. Davis waits and just clips this into the offside. Chance for a run out hill. My word, that's a shocker of a throw from Ed Barnes, who looped it about 6 foot over Harvey Hussain's head, having picked it up no more than 3 or 4 yards away from the stumps. I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to do there. Perhaps it's stuck in his hand. But it wasn't his finest moment in the field, Ed Barnes. Bowled okay before, but conceded 13. Critchley's in and bowls, turning to the leg side. And there's a single on offer to pretty much every delivery, and when you only need 4 3/4 runs and over, well, you don't need to take any chances, do you? 35 without loss. Going very nicely indeed here, Lancashire. 3 singles off the first 3 deliveries of the Critchley over, and this one is cut, and there's going to be more than a single here because they're going to get at least 2, if not 3, and possibly 4. They are going to get 4 because the ball hits the boundary rope now at backward point. And Davis moves up to 28, and Lancashire to 39 without loss, and we're only in the 7th over, and they're chasing 99 to win. You know what I'm going to tell everybody at 4:30. It's not finished yet, but it will be soon. Full toss this time, and it's punched down the ground. It'll be fielded there by McKiernan. Just a single taken. Fielders on the move for the left-hander now. 40 up, 40 for no loss after 6 overs and 4 balls. Now, if they'd batted first and had been batting like this, I'd have been getting very excited. I don't think they'd have been batting like this, though. You can just get that feeling. Critchley again tosses himself a catch, a couple of steps down the track from Keaton Jennings, turns it into the leg side. Barnes does the fielding, no run, end of the over. 8 off it, 40 without loss after 7. Lancashire well on the way.
Take a look at that other game that is taking place this afternoon. There's one in Bristol in the Central Group, so there's another afternoon start, and Worcestershire have been set a target of 182 to win the match. Gloucestershire made 181 for 4 from 20, and the Rapids are 118 for 6 in the 17th over, so 64 required from 3.2 overs.
It's a big ask. We've all been there.
Ross Whiteley, well, he can hit it.
He can. Hit 6 sixes in an over, in a 50 over game, didn't he? But they lost. I was listening to Bradders yesterday. He likes to mention that when he can. There was a wide in there as well, and people were questioning whether it counted as 6 successive sixes, but I think it does. Alex Hughes comes on for Derbyshire.
Be a bit harsh to take it away from him, wouldn't it?
Well, I think so, yeah. He couldn't reach the one that he didn't hit for 6.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ed Barnard, the other batsman for the Rapids, is unbeaten on 12. Here is Hughes to Davis. And clipping through the onside for a single, just flicks it off his pads and jogs through for 1. So yeah, we're coming to the halfway stage of the group campaign. It just gives you a little clearer idea, perhaps, as to how things might pan out through the course of the next few games. This is the halfway point for Derbyshire and for Lancashire. Jennings on striker, is Hughes in. Oh, a little clever paddle by Keaton Jennings. He'll get 4 for it, I think, down towards the boundary. Or is it just going to get pulled in? It just gets pulled in by Connors. In fact, Jennings thought it had gone for 4 as well, because he kind of hesitated and thought, oh, has he not reached the rope? I'm going to have to run back and run a third here. It's a 3 in the end for Keaton Jennings, but it's a very smart touch play by Keaton Jennings just to paddle the ball down towards fine leg. And he gets himself 3, so he moves up to 13. Lancashire Lightning 44 without loss in the 8th over. Davis waiting, cutting the ball towards deep backward point for 1. 45 without loss. Davis moves to 31. So yeah, Notts Outlaws are tops with 6 points. Lancashire Lightning are second with 6 points. Both played 4, albeit Lancashire will go top 2 points clear, but having played a game more with the Outlaws playing tonight. Yorkshire 4th, 4 points. Derbyshire 5th with 2 points. Jennings guides his delivering to the onside. There is no run, and Durham are at the bottom of the North group. Just a 1 point so far from the 4 games. The other 2 groups, well, the Central group, Northamptonshire Steelbacks have won 4 of their 5 games, and they're top with 9 points, so a great start for the Steelbacks. Hughes to Jennings. Score moves on to 46 without loss. Gloucestershire are second with 5 points from 4. Somerset third, 5 points from 4. And Glamorgan lost 3 so far. Davis off the back foot, pushing it through the covers for a single. And the end of the 9 is the target for Lancashire Lightning, and the other group, the South group, Kent are top, 6 points from 4 games. Sussex are second, 5 points from 4. Middlesex are third, 4 points from 4. Surrey 4th, 4 from 4. Hampshire and Essex Eagles make up the rest. And here's Dave Fletcher.
And it's Matt Critchley bowling from the river end as Davis just guides it very nicely, just slightly backward of square into the offside. Connors does the filling. It's a slightly wild throw. He apologises immediately. Lancashire move on to 48 without loss. I'd have preferred it really if they'd have just gone for it and won it in 10 overs, in all honesty. It's like death by 1,000 cuts, isn't it, this at the moment? Everybody knows what the final result's going to be. Derbyshire's fielders, I suppose, are getting a bit of a workout, which is useful. As Dahl moves a bit squarer at the point of boundary, Critchley comes in and bowls to him. The reverse sweep comes out and he has to go fine again because he's having to chase that one, and he gets there. Terrific piece of fielding from Dahl, who is a fine fielder. Quickest man on a cricket pitch in the country. And they run 2, half century. The 50 is up for Lancashire in the 9th over. 50 without loss. Cruising towards a 10-wicket victory, you would have thought. And then we can all go home and come back in 2 days' time and forget this ever happened. Critchley in, a couple of steps down the track from Keaton Jennings, and he plays it straight to Billy Godleman at shortish mid-wicket. Lewis Rees removes his cap and starts wheeling his arms around. He's removed his sweater as well. We're going to see some Lewis Rees in a minute. Reverse sweep comes out, big appeal for leg before wicket. Oh, I tell you what, Steve O'Shaughnessy lifted the hand up a fraction and then shook his head.
What a tease.
He was going to give that.
He was teasing.
He was going to give it. He thought, no, I've not seen a 10-wicket win for a while. Well, he was ready there, wasn't he?
Yeah, Lancashire cruising towards a victory here. The 50 without loss in the 9th. They're chasing 99 runs to win the game. Derbyshire making a complete mess of their 20 overs. Just 2 players, or 3 players actually, reaching double figures. The standout being Alex Hughes, who made 32, but the Falcons were reduced to 18 for 3, and then 4 down for 18, 5 for 35, 6 for 48. You get the picture. Eventually 98 for 7 they finished on, with 2 wickets for Tom Bailey, 1 each for Hartley, Lamb and for Parry, who playing his first game of the season. So just a modest total of 99 for Lancashire to win the game. Alex Davis currently unbeaten on 33 and Keaton Jennings on 17, and Lancashire after 9 overs are 51 without loss.
End of the over, 51 without loss, 9 gone 4 off the over and half a wicket for Matt Critchley. He definitely moved his arm.
He did. He twitched, didn't he? Yeah.
I was getting ready to call it, and then he put it back in his pocket.
He was teasing.
Steve O'Shaughnessy, unbelievable. Wait till I see him. I won't be saying good morning. I shall snub him for teasing us. It's bad enough that they're going to lose, but to be teased as well. Lewis Rees, your end, I think, isn't it?
It is, I think,
Lewis Rees is going to bowl the 10th over from the pavilion end. It's a lot quicker when I don't have to do lives. I just basically record one, send it to them, and hope that it gets there. Because we've given up on every form of broadcasting device that I brought, and I brought plenty.
Well, that's what surprises me.
I've got everything.
You've got all bases covered.
Absolutely everything.
Here is Rees, left arm of the wicket, leaning into it is Keaton Jennings to nudge it back down the pitch, and frantically trying to make his ground at the non-striker's end was Alex Davis. No run to start the 10th.
Yeah, I thought it was foolproof. My car was, the petrol consumption was poor on the way here. It had that much equipment in it, and me, of course, which was probably the heaviest thing in fairness. But yeah, no, everything's collapsed.
Rees to Jennings. Drill back down the ground for a single. He moves to 19, 53 without loss. So do you need to kind of have a little rethink for Sunday?
I've already got plans in place. Yeah,
right.
I'm going to meet somebody in Manchester.
Down the back alley or something with some dodgy equipment.
In a car park. I've got a supplier of equipment who's fetching some up from Derby for me. So hopefully I'll be all right. If I'm not, we'll just have to do it like this. And it's one of the joys of outgrounds, isn't it? The joys of an outground.
It does bring its challenges, but it's good fun.
Oh, it's terrific fun.
I enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Plane taking off from John Lennon Airport. You'll be able to hear it rattling its engines as it gets a little higher in the sky. There's Davis now driving through mid-off for a single. Matty McKiernan comes up from the boundary to field. Davis gets 1. And Lancashire move on to 53 without loss. Davis to 34 not out. Brings Keaton Jennings on strike. Keeper standing up. Lewis Rees. Blonde-haired Rees. The ball in his left hand. Balls to Jennings. An edge which is picked up, and throw comes in towards the keeper's end, trying to run Davis out. But he managed to get himself through, Alex Davis, and despite Harvey Hussain taking the ball and then demolishing the stumps, there is an additional run added to the Lancashire target. Lancashire total rather, 54 without loss in the 10th.
I was just explaining how things are not working. We have an engineer here, which is an absolute treat.
We do. Lucky to have, because I wouldn't have a clue how any of this works, to be perfectly honest with you. Rees to Davis, flicked off the pads down to backward square leg for a single.
At the moment, though, the Wi-Fi coming off that green bus there behind the pavilion is actually registering slightly stronger than the Lancashire one on my laptop, which is remarkable.
Someone stop the bus.
Yeah, that bus just wouldn't mind just pulling down this street, then I'm laughing.
55.
Arriva Wi-Fi. It's got to be the bus, hasn't it?
I would think so, yeah.
Unbelievable.
55 without loss in the 10th. Oh, that's made me chuckle. Rees from the pavilion end to Jennings. We've got another plane taking off as Jennings punches through the offside. Oh, it beats 2 dives, one of short cover, one of mid-off. Jennings comes back and gets himself a third, actually. A little front foot punch through the offside. 2 fielders leaping after it. One a fraction behind the other. It got in between the body of both of those fielders at the end of the 10th over. So halfway stage of the innings, and Lancashire Lightning of 58 without loss. Keaton Jennings on 22 and Alex Davis on 35.
Yeah, poor old Lewis Rees. He looked a bit grumpy there that they'd got 3 because it beat the dive of Billy Godleman initially and then Leas de Ploy, but it was just well placed. And if it's well placed, it's well placed. Lewis Rees made 4 from 8. Didn't place anything particularly well when he was batting. Not sure he got room to complain, but you know what sportsmen are like. They can get very grumpy for no reason. And I think Lewis was getting a bit grumpy for no real reason there. Yeah, Aviva's, it's gone off by, it must have been that bus. Here's Critchley beginning a new over. A couple of steps down the track from Keaton Jennings. And they go through for a single. Score moves on to 59 without loss. Looking good. I might be being sorted here. No, I'm not. Critchley's in, balls. This one's played into the leg side by Davis, and they'll trot through for another single. 60 without loss. We're in the 11th over. It's Matt Critchley's third. 14 runs he's conceded so far. He's bowled okay, but the batsman haven't had to take any chances, and this one is driven straight back to him when he dives to his left. Try and stop it. A couple of Virgin Wi-Fi's there, but they're both security locked from one of some of the houses nearby, presumably. Critchley's in again, bowls a full delivery that's turned into a full toss by the left-handed Jennings. Clips it into the leg side. Connors slips as he picks it up, loses his cap, and eventually hurls it back in. They go through for another single. 61 without loss. We'll be all right come Sunday. I'm very confident. Very confident. There's Mikey Cohen with his drinks bottle. If he'll get a game Sunday, be good to see. Critchley just tosses himself a catch. Comes into bowl to Davis, who is bowled as he plays on. He went for the cut, and Derbyshire are not going to lose by 10 wickets because Alex Davis has gone